Today, we're celebrating the big, the bold, and the brilliant. We're looking at phenomenal futuristic technology and massive mechanical achievements. They're the sort of things that make you stand back and take a second look as you try to convince yourself that what you're seeing is real. They're simply some of the most incredible things that actually exist. When a plane crashes, our chances of survival are unfortunately very low. It will likely never be possible to make a plane that can guarantee survival in the event of a crash landing. But every step forward in terms of safety should be welcomed. With that in mind, we welcome this invention by Vladimir Tatarenko, an aviation expert and engineer from Ukraine. His creation is a plane cabin that can be ejected from a crashing or falling plane within seconds and survive landing on either water or land. The parachutes attached to the roof of the cabin will ensure a safe descent, and the rubber tubes beneath it act as both shock absorbers and a method of staying afloat if the landing takes place at sea. There is one drawback though. The detachable area of the plane wouldn't contain the pilots, so they'd have to go down with their vessel. Some critics have questioned whether a design like this would compromise the structural integrity of a plane, but we think it's at least worth giving it a try. Automated drone delivery services are an inevitability. Amazon is very close to perfecting their model as we speak. If we're going to accept parcels by drone, then why not have your goods delivered by a robotic dog that comes to your door in a self-driving car? The strange setup was demonstrated at CES 2019 by Continental, and unsurprisingly, it grabbed a lot of attention. The concept pairs a driverless taxi, they're referring to as Cube, with a robot dog that gets out of the taxi and brings your package all the way to your front door. The dogs are so adept that they can climb steps, find their way around a fence, and even ring your doorbell to announce their arrival. When they're not being used to make deliveries, the Cube units can even double up as automated taxis, which people will be able to order via an app. Presumably, they won't have to share space in the taxi with any of the dogs. Wearing a jetpack on your back and flying up into the sky is something we've seen in cartoons and science fiction movies for years. Now, it's happening in real life, thanks to Britain's Richard Browning. He's not the only person in the world trying to make personalized jet propulsion technology popular, but his Iron Man-style suit, which comes complete with jet thrusters attached to his back and both arms, is arguably the most advanced one out there. His variant is a 1,000 horsepower gravity suit, which he used to good effect to fly down the fastest and longest zip line in all of Europe. Browning wanted to test the suit while having the backup of being tethered to the line just in case it failed. He didn't need to worry, it worked perfectly. At peak acceleration, he hit 56 miles per hour. He'd probably have been going even faster if he hadn't made his attempt on a day when there were heavy crosswinds. His next task is to do it without the safety cord. All self-respecting billionaires have super yachts, and we imagine they're always trying to outdo each other with the size and capability of their ultra-expensive toys. There's only one winner in that contest, and it's Russian billionaire Andrew Melnichenko with his $460 million monster. The price tag is a drop in the ocean to its owner, who has a personal fortune of close to $11 billion. The measurements alone are outstanding. The yacht is 468 feet long and has masts which stand 300 feet tall. By way of comparison, that's taller than London's famous Big Ben clock. The main mast is so large that it even has a small room inside it so people can climb up and enjoy the view in comfort. Even oil tankers look tiny next to this floating palace. It comes complete with a helicopter landing pad, a luxurious swimming pool, and green underlighting just for fun. The only thing that isn't incredible about it is its name. It's simply known as Sailing Yacht A. Our next astonishing piece of design isn't quite ready to be shown to the world yet. But if the finished product looks anything like as good as this concept artwork is, it's going to be truly jaw-dropping. Designed by Barcelona's Oscar Vinals, this is a plane known as Progress Eagle, and it might be the way the jet set class travels through the air by the end of the next decade. It's a triple-decker vehicle with the capacity for 800 passengers on board at any one time. But it's also designed to be quiet, lightweight, and environmentally friendly. All along the 314-foot wingspan will be solar panels to assist with the plane's power demands. And there's also a wind turbine on board. That means it can generate its own power while it's in flight, and therefore consume less fuel. According to Oscar himself, his futuristic plane will be completely carbon neutral too. Here's an example of technology from Star Wars that's turned into a reality. Remember those little droids that helped Luke Skywalker to learn how to use a lightsaber in the first Star Wars movie? They were the direct inspiration for these Astro Bee robots, which have been shipped off to the International Space Station by NASA to assist the astronauts living up there in orbit. The little cube-shaped robot will float around the ship, each with a touchscreen interface that can be used to instruct them to perform specific tasks. There's also space for a manipulator arm, which can be removed if it becomes an inconvenience. Each of the 3 robots, which are at the station right now, comes equipped with sensors and fans, and so they can detect where they are in the station and whether there's an obstruction in front of them, and take evasive action if they need to. Their basic job will be to assist with cargo and inventory tasks, although they can also monitor air quality and act as an early warning system for problems. If the first thing you do after a workout is get into the bath or shower, the Aqua Treadmill Water Walker can help you with that. Because it's already a bath. There's nothing complicated about this Japanese invention. It's simply a treadmill inside a water chamber. When you're not using it to exercise, it doubles up as either a bath or a spa, depending on your mood. It can even provide you with a relaxing hydro massage to soothe your aching muscles. Running through water is more difficult than running on land, so the treadmill function of the Water Walker represents a tough, full-body workout, which is great for toning and stimulating your circulation. Because of the effects of the water, it's also less punishing to your knees and ankles when you run, because the water takes some of the weight. Simply run until you feel you can't go on anymore, press a button, and then relax as the walker instantly switches into spa mode. What happens when Rolls-Royce and Ocean Submarine work together? The answer is Nake, a luxury submarine that James Bond would be proud of. Constructed in the Netherlands, the first Nake prototype was completed in early 2018. So even though this looks like a futuristic craft, it's actually out there in the real world right now. While the majority of submarines are designed for military or scientific pursuits, the Nake is all about luxury. The 60-foot submarine contains a bar, 20 luxury cabins, and a library in the unlikely event you get bored and need a book to read to pass the time. Even with all that on board, the most spectacular aspect of the submarine is the clear nose of the craft, which allows the guests on board a spectacular view of the sea around them as they dive 1,640 feet below the surface. This is the sort of thing we can probably expect to find inside one of the billionaire's super yachts we mentioned earlier on. Each Nake unit is built to order, with a price tag of several $millions. China already has an impressive high-speed rail network, but they're always looking for ways to make things even faster. They may finally have found one. A brand new type of maglev floating train was demonstrated in Qingdao in May this year, and has begun the 2-year process of becoming certified for use by the public. If it's approved, it will require whole new tracks to be built. This bullet train can use its magnetic levitation abilities to reach speeds of up to 375 miles per hour. The only thing that might limit its acceleration is concerns about the impact of electromagnetic fields in built-up areas, which might mean the train is only permitted to operate in rural areas. The electromagnetic force required to keep a train of this size floating 2 inches above the rails at all times is considerable, and not enough is known about how an electromagnetic field moving at this kind of speed would impact people and power networks as it passed them by. If any form of train transport is capable of going faster than the Chinese maglev train, it will be Virgin's Hyperloop One project. Hyperloop is a grand vision that was born inside the mind of Elon Musk back in 2013. He wants to use the same technology found in maglev trains, but deploy it inside steel tubes, where passenger capsules can be fired along inside a vacuum. With nothing to get in their way or slow them down, it's thought that the capsules would be capable of 761 miles per hour. Perhaps more importantly for the future of the environment, Hyperloop One is all electric. It will likely be several years before passengers are able to ride a Hyperloop, but the idea is currently being tested at a specially built track just outside Las Vegas, and the initial results are encouraging. Work has already started on building tracks in the UK, India, Dubai, and elsewhere in the United States. Hyperloop isn't a fantasy. It's going to happen one day. It's all just a question of when. The straddling bus, which you'll also sometimes hear referred to as the 3D Express coach, was selected by Time magazine as one of the best inventions of 2010. That tells you how long the idea has been around, and it's had a stop-start history in terms of progress since then. The fundamental idea is a great one. Nobody likes being sat on a bus in the middle of a traffic jam. So what if the bus could rise above the traffic and navigate around it? Originally designed in China, the coach is basically a bus so tall that cars can drive below it, while its passengers enjoy a view of their home city from on high. Standing 15 feet tall and powered by electricity, the proposed top speed is a mere 37 miles per hour. But 37 miles per hour is better than the 0 miles per hour you're doing if you're trapped in a queue. Each coach is an enormous vehicle, capable of holding 1,400 people at a time. A prototype was built in 2011 but deemed inadequate, and there have been various revisions and trials since then. It may yet see the light of day. Building a gigantic mechanical spider doesn't help the human race in any way, and nor is it a contribution to the future of transport or industry, but it's definitely very cool. Built by Matt Denton, an engineer from the United Kingdom, the 9-foot-tall Mecha Spider is officially the tallest hexapod robot in the world, although we're not sure how fierce the competition for that accolade is. Aside from being very tall, it's also 16 feet wide and weighs 2 tons. Imagine how strong it would need its web to be if it wanted to spin one and sit in the middle of it. Denton, who refers to his creation as the Mantis, has been building large and small robots for his entire life. He was obsessed with Lego and Star Wars as a child, and he's weaved those two interests together to build a completely functional robot that wouldn't look out of place in a science fiction movie.
Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, and you will be the first to know when a new video comes out. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.